Hello, LinkedIn. Me again. So, I'd love to welcome you to our birthday show. Right? What's the cakes, man? So, who would have thought it? 52 shows, Alison. So, this is us. So when I started this, obviously, I had the idea way before. Just never got round to it because it was too much time, didn't have the time, blah, 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 blah. And who'd have thought it? This is us now. We're actually just over here, but this is the 52nd episode. So we said, we're going to have you on, Alison, and you're going to celebrate the birthday show with.
Not by singing, though. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to the birthday show.
Sing, Alison, sing. So we'll get the party hats on, and look at this. We've even got ourselves T-shirts now. So the late lunch show's got its own merch. Alison, can you go show your T-shirt? So Alison's the first person to get a late lunch show. So late lunch show in the front, and then hashtag hello LinkedIn. It's me again on the back. So people that are coming on the show now, as well as you can get a wee notepad, you get a cake, you get a coffee, you can also now get a T-shirt.
Well looked after.
Aye. Right, so before we go, we don't have Amelia today. Where is Amelia, Andrew?
She's helping writing students at Glasgow Caledonian University.
So Amelia is giving back today. So she's not out there on filming the new Netflix blockbuster. She's out there giving back to the university because she's a wee star. So you never got to meet Amelia. That's Andrew's better half, and she's an actor and she's awesome. So anyway, we don't have Amelia today. So Alana, Kelsey, Audrey, if you're in, anybody for the business that's watching it, if you can give us a wee thumbs up to say that you can hear me, can hear Alison.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear Alison? And then let us know. But we'll carry on anyway, Alison, because if they can't hear us, they can't hear us. Right? We'll just have
we'll have a good chat.
Andrew's giving us a thumbs up to say that we've got it. I hope your streamers went off all right. So before we get started, we always have to give a big shout out to Bold Mango Media, right, for this lovely studio that they let us use. It's good.
Yeah, it's really impressive. You have to come and see it.
Yeah, so anybody that's not seen the studio yet, Alison saying you want to come and see it because it is impressive. And the virtual production bit through next door is even better. So, you're doing no bad, Andrew. Give yourself a wee pat in the back. Also to our sponsors, Grow. So we need to show off our cakes.
Oh,
right. I actually don't know if I can lift this. Right. So,
Alison,
what you got?
I've got basically an old-fashioned birthday cake.
Birthday cake.
It's got hundreds of thousands on it.
Lovely.
It's massive.
And they didn't even know it was a birthday the day in Growing. I just said, give us a surprise, and we got a birthday cake. How good's that? And then I've got I don't even know what that is. It's got 2 seconds to take my confetti off it. So it's obviously a what do you call them?
I don't know.
See those
Biscoff.
Yeah. It's obviously like a big Biscoff donut. So that'll get tanned, and then Andrew's got a brownie, which I think Andrew, if you don't want, I think Lucas would love it. Right, so let's get started, Alison. Then we've now known each other for, is it 2 years? Just under 2 years?
Yeah, a couple of years.
Yeah, and we originally met because we were on a scale-up programme together. And today what we're going to talk about, because you've been in a kind of similar journey to me through your kind of growing and scaling your business, where things like peer-to-peer, accelerators have been there, and obviously a lot of the stuff you do with regards to trying to help other entrepreneurs and helping with kind of trainings and all that kind of stuff. So really just going to have a wee chat, because the show's about things that we think can help other businesses. And I think from both of our experiences so far, I think there's lots in there that can help other businesses. So even if there's either an entrepreneur think they're starting, or there's somebody that's early stage in their business, or somebody that's maybe that's already got an established business, hopefully if they can take 1 or 2 things out of this, then we've done our job, and we've had a coffee, and we've had some cakes.
Yeah, fantastic cake. Yeah, no, that sounds great. That's
right. So tell us about yourself, your business, and then we'll see where we go from there.
Cool. All right. Well, so I'm the founder of a company called Skillfluence, and we train startup entrepreneurs or people thinking about maybe getting started by running accelerator programs and startup programs. And we also work with researchers and academics and universities, because they've got amazing ideas, but they don't know always how to actually get them out into the world. So we help them start up and commercialise their work as well. And we work with some really, really cool, really amazing people who are doing fantastic things in the world.
Yeah. So see your accelerator that you're talking about. So how does that work? So if you are you okay to talk about how it works? That's
Yeah,
right, cool.
for sure.
Right.
Yeah. In fact, just stop me when you get, So for example, we run an accelerator program in the Highlands and Islands of Scotland,
Yeah.
and it's for young entrepreneurs, and it's a 12-month program. And every month they get to hear from guest speakers and experts who know something useful for entrepreneurs. So it might be you'd hear like about AI in starting up, because that can be quite, that can be a bit scary if you don't know what you're doing.
So many things are daunting when you start your business.
Yeah, marketing,
Yeah.
cover marketing, we'll cover just like how you make money, but there's also coaching all the way through, there's workshops, so they get to kind of mingle and talk and discuss with their peers, because that's massively important.
Yeah.
So there's the content, the learning stuff, but there's also the kind of like the talking to your peers, and then one-to-one coaching that runs all the way through. So when you're stressing out about something, you're like, I don't know how to price this, or, I don't know how to kind of get my, business out into the world, you've got someone that you can talk to.
I think the peer-to-peer thing's massive.
Yeah.
We'll talk about more about peer-to-peer and some of the things we've been part of. But I actually, so I get that quite a lot, where I've got people that are going, I'm thinking about getting out on my own. Right? What have you got any advice? And some of the things that I try and say to people, because these are things that folk don't think about, especially if they're maybe in a technical role and they're deciding to go out into business, something like that. Get a Xero or a QuickBooks or something like that in place right at the beginning, right? So you can manage your finances better. Did I not actually have that conversation with you, Andrew, at one point?
Yeah.
So get these kind of things in place, because it's not always the thing that people think about first. They think about, I need to just go and get customers, and I need to go and get this, and I need to go and get that. See if you've got that there as a foundation, because a Xero or a QuickBooks, you can, especially at the early stages, you can run most of your business through that system. And having that system and that approach, I've always said, I think that was one of the best things that we did very, very early on, was get Xero.
Yeah.
Because that, obviously, we're now kind of evolving into an ERP system. But see, without Xero, we would never have been able to keep on top of everything we were doing.
Yeah, because I had the same experience, except I didn't get something in place for the first sort of 2 or so years, and just spent the entire time stressing about where have I put receipts for things and stuff, and just ignored it. And then once I got on top of it, I had to just spend a bit of time getting on top of it, got QuickBooks in place, and then it's been so straightforward. And I wish I'd just done what you said and had it straight off at the beginning, because otherwise, we'd have had a lot less stress.
And it's the time that's taken. So I know that it's dead easy to raise an invoice in Word and all that kind of stuff, but then you're having to make sure that you've got your filing systems in place, because these are things that your average kind of person doesn't really think about too much. See if you're like been in a kind of senior admin role or something like that in a business, you'll know about that. If you've been a manager in a business, you'll know about that. But see if you've been somebody that's maybe been on the tools and is very good at your job and deciding to go out and let's go out and give it a go. They're not the things you think about.
No. And I think if you've got a system that's saying it's okay to do this, so for example, chasing up for payments when something's not been paid, when you're doing that as a kind of person, you're like, oh, maybe I'll give them I'll just give them a little bit longer, just there's probably something going on. Whereas QuickBooks is just like, well, that's the 30 days is up. I'm going to send them an automatic email, so you don't even have to think about it, and it becomes second nature. So
no, we're no shy in asking for our money. I love to see everything gets paid when you ask for it, but it's not that easy. No, I think should see the likes of for new start people, is that the type of advice that you are trying to give them, stuff like that, like how to get yourself going properly for the beginning, rather than, as you say, being 2 years down and you're trying to look back on it and going, how much time could I save?
Do you know, I think when you're starting out, there's so many things that you need to know. All you can do for people is provide them with as much stuff as possible. They can choose what they need. I mean, you've always got to prioritise. Wouldn't it be lovely if we could do all the things that we knew we should be doing? But at least if you can give people the information that they might need, but also the kind of reassurance from their peers and from their coach that, you're not expected to get everything right straight off and do everything, because you've got to prioritize. It's like, well, you know, do I spend money going, do I spend time going out and getting sales in, or do I spend time getting my website up, or
Aye.
you know, where are
And
you?
every business is different as well. I mean, so every business, not every business needs a website. It's all, and this is where you sometimes see it that people think that there is a book and how this is all done. It doesn't work like that. You know it doesn't work like that. I know it doesn't work like that. It'd be a book with about 300 iterations to it, depending on what you do. It's one of those things. Obviously, we do a lot of we're trying to get better at doing a lot of flowcharts for everything in the business. But you're coming down, you go right. So customer phones us, then it goes. Dong, 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 dong. So it could go to any of these places, and just start the businesses the same.
Yeah, totally. And people just want and need a bit of permission to know that, you know, they don't have to do everything. They can't be on top of everything all the time. It's going to be a bit chaotic. And
Aye. By the way, you might have thought from looking at other people that this is easy, but it's not.
yeah, and you might think, oh, I need to do this before I can do the next thing. You know, I need to get a website, and you're absolutely right. Maybe the website's not a need. Maybe you're better going out and finding your first customer.
Yeah.
Or, you know, maybe polishing your product, you know, is not needed to the degree that you're thinking it is. Because actually your right first few customers will probably accept it being, you know, not so perfect.
100%. And it's we've got a saying that we talk about, and it comes from a guy, David Hawes. So David watches this show. So it's don't let perfect get in the way of good.
That's great.
And we try and take that mantra quite a lot across our business, because we do a lot of really technical things, and you're going, right, well, is it good enough to give the answers that the people want and you're expecting? Yes, okay, well, let's try it then.
Yeah.
And test it, rather than try to get it looking perfect, feeling perfect, this perfect, that perfect, and then you're another 2, 3, 4 months before anybody's really trying it. So we've did that a couple of times now, and it makes a big difference.
Yeah, and you embody it in yourself, Jamie.
That's at the end of the day. If you're right all the time, you'd have nothing to learn from.
You've got to have flaws. Otherwise, you just annoy people.
That's what I say to Heather. I says she didn't realise that she met Mr. Right. It was actually Mr. Always Right. She hates my guts, by the way, honestly. I'm trying to get her on the show. I've been saying that for a wee while. I'm trying to get her on the show, because I think that would be probably a really entertaining show where she can just sit there and say what it's like to be the other half of an entrepreneur.
Yeah, that would be interesting,
because they're the people, well, you know yourself, they're the people that suffer the most when we're all running about. Aye,
as well.
You have to listen. But to be honest with you, me and her don't really talk about work much, and that's because we don't have time to talk.
Yeah.
So
super busy.
I'll leave the house before she's even up, and then I get into bed when she's usually already sleeping. So we've got a great relationship. That's
works really
why
well.
we don't argue.
It's a beautiful thing.
So talk about, obviously you did the eSpart stuff. So talk about what that journey looked like, because obviously I did West Coast Accelerator, Pre-Scaler, Scale Up, the RBS Accelerator, Entrepreneurial Scotland stuff. So I've been on quite a lot, but I think you're nearly as much an accelerator. What do we call it? Fan zone.
I love it. I mean, so for sure. I mean, I know train other people in it, but it was different training other people to do things and doing it yourself. So I think
you don't need to tell me. Actually, I'm the best in the world at giving out advice, but I'm
good.
Murder at taking it.
So good at advice. So when I first started, I gave up my kind of normal, sort of well-paid, regularly paid job, and was really fortunate to get started in Entrepreneurial Spark. So I finished my job on the Friday. I'd worked in the public sector, so and charitable organisations. So I not really run a business before, so I was very fortunate, and I was 2-3 years in Entrepreneurial Spark. Met amazing people. We had a little kind of group of us that were always hanging out, and we still kind of keep in touch, and it's really nice seeing what they're doing online and kind of keeping up with their businesses. Then I moved to RBS Accelerator when eSpark moved over to that. Then Unlocking Ambition, that's a Scottish enterprise one.
That kind of, because do you know Kerry Ann Savage?
I know the name.
Quinn,
yeah.
So she was saying that. So
I do.
So she was saying about getting into that, and then obviously that was before Pre-Scaler, and they weren't taking anybody, because it sounded really, really good. That
it was brilliant. In fact, it was so good. The person who runs it, Zoe, has actually joined our team now at Skillfluence. So she was running it. And I was like, you're amazing. And she's our head of entrepreneurship. And she's just like, she's
That's
absolutely
David
superb.
Christian. David ran the West Coast Sailor, and he's now part of our team. He's our fractional coup, chief operating officer. I need to stop calling him a coup, actually. But he's the chief operating officer for
Did
the
you
business.
say the cheap operating?
No, he's definitely
that-
not. No, he's worth every penny. So the chief operating officer. So he's there, kind of try to take a bit of pressure off of Kane and I, so we can continue
Yeah.
the growth without it
Yeah.
all comes through us.
It just shows you the network though that you make through these things, and you never know what connections you're going to make and where it's going to lead to. And it's some really strong connections with people that last a long time when you've been going through building a business with other people, and you kind of, there's a real kind of camaraderie, I think.
100%. Well, we talked about that earlier. Is that there's people that you're on these programs with, and there's people that obviously that I was on the pre-scaler with that I've probably not seen or really spoke too much since it, because we did obviously our scale up one, we're keeping that going and we're keeping the conversation going. Our pre-scaler one didn't really happen, but I still know that if I needed something, I could phone any of them up, and I'm confident that they would feel the same, because you go through that journey. I mean, look at our scale up group.
Yeah.
We're all like pals. That's when it becomes friends.
Yeah.
And you know as well I do. There's every single person in that group. If you needed something tomorrow, you could phone any one of them up if they could help you.
Yeah.
And even if we didn't, for example, it didn't continue going, that will not change. Right, so I still think that, like we were talking about, obviously Stephen Cat. So see if this all fizzles out, and then in 4 years' time I'm thinking about going to India, they're the first people I'm phoning.
Yeah.
Right, before anybody, and I guarantee you it'll just be like we'd never speak. But the last time we spoke was a month ago.
Yeah, I know, it's totally true. I mean, it's just, I don't know, it just seems to create a really long-lasting bond. You're just like, that you can call on people. And
I think it's because, for me, it's because you're completely open and honest.
Yeah.
And we are all sharing sometimes the real things that are keeping you awake at night, and kind of the negatives that you've got going on that you can't always show everybody else at times, because like your partner, they're not wanting to hear all that crap and hear how you're stressed out and this, that and the next thing, because it's no fair in them having all that pressure and stress in them. So you're in a safe space where you can talk like that and you can tell the people how things are going, and they're not sitting there worried about you, because they know that they're going through similar things themselves. They know that it's going to pass, and then it's just a case of sharing advice and experience.
Yeah, because there was loads of times that I'm sitting there or I'm listening to someone talking and I'm thinking, oh my God, I mean, like, you work in a completely different business to me. I mean, it couldn't be more different. And yet there's real similarities in some of the challenges that we face, and you just learn a lot from that. And it is reassuring when you kind of know that other people are finding similar, like, challenges within their business, whatever it's related to.
Aye. And with regards to do you still speak to people that you went through the kind of RBS one in East Park and stuff like that with?
Yeah, still in touch with loads of them. And it is that kind of way, you could just get in touch with them anytime.
Yeah.
And I think quite often in our programs, we have guest speakers in our training programs, because you want to hear from real people who are actually doing it. So, you're at risk. If you know me, you're at risk that I will one day, get in touch and be sort of saying, come talk to these people. I think they'd get a lot from it.
Anytime you want. If they want to listen to my chat, then they're
Who would want to listen to your patter?
No, that's brilliant. You see the likes of the stuff. So is it just the Highlands and Islands you're doing? Like, you're doing them all over the place?
No, I was over in Donegal just before Christmas. We were running a female founder program in Donegal. We've got a program going in Argyll and Bute at the moment, and that's for people who are underrepresented in entrepreneurship. And it's really for those folk who've maybe got like a side hustle, or they'd like to earn a wee bit of extra cash on the side, or they might want to grow something bigger than that, or they've got a project they're working on that could lead to something. So it's really kind of early stage stuff. You don't have to be, I'm an entrepreneur to come on the program. So I'm running Pathways to Scale. That's a female founder one, and that's run by Scottish Enterprise.
Brilliant.
And that's for sort of bigger scaling companies as well. So loads of different things in the go. I mean, that's what I love about what I do is getting to work with like a whole load of different people.
I see. I always said that she being in that space, because that's one of the things I missed from obviously being part of the what do you call it, West,
Oh yeah,
the what's it called?
West Coast
West Coast
thingy,
Accelerator.
yeah.
Because there was loads of new. Because obviously now the stage that we're at in our business journey, you're speaking to people who've got established businesses. That's what the kind of
Yeah.
who your pals become. But back then it was folk that have just got completely new ideas
Yeah.
and completely new businesses. And you're like, holy moly, that sounds awesome. That sounds awesome. That sounds awesome. And that was when I did the judging for the wild card edge. Honestly, this is where obviously when if I cash out in the business at some point, I wanted to try and help new start businesses. But see, after doing the thing for the wild card, I'm like, I had to use all money.
Yeah, take it all.
I had to
Take
use
it
all
all.
money. I was skinting no time.
Yeah. Did you ever do Scottish Edge yourself?
Aye, we won Scottish Edge
Yeah.
in 2022.
Oh, very good.
Aye, have you done it?
Yeah, won it in 2019. I
Aye.
applied before that,
Aye.
when I was just starting out, because it was just going back to what we said earlier. Sometimes you feel you've got to do this thing, or people are, advising you to, apply for things. So I applied for it earlier on. It was, in hindsight, it was too early for me,
Aye,
but the learning I got from doing it,
100%.
that's, I think, what helped me get it the next time I applied, which was a few years later. But
we were exactly the same. So I applied for it in 2021.
yeah.
So before I'd even had any customers, right? Just this business plan and an idea and stuff like that. So I applied for it then. Obviously, by the time we went through the process, Kane was with the business, and so went through it. And what I say to everybody is see how much you learn about your own business and your business model and where you're about your business plan. Going through that process, it is massive.
Yeah.
And we got to the semi-final. By the time the judging had took place, we already had customers. So we went from the application process with no clients.
Yeah.
By the time we got to the first stage of judging, we had one. By the time we got to the semi-final pitch, we had about 5.
That's amazing.
Right? So,
yeah.
so we're sitting going like, surely we must have a chance at this. Blah, blah, blah. Kane and I sitting there. In my posh office, as David called it, in the West Coast Accelerator, sitting in there with the videos. And me and Andrew spoke about it. I'm going to do, or Andrew's going to do for us, see an outtake, like an oops. What do you call it? What do you call it?
Oh yeah, I know what you
What
mean.
do you call it, Andrew? No,
Bloopers.
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 A bloopers thing, right? But with all the different, like see when I've been trying to do the practice your 3-minute pitch, you're like, hi there, Jamie Bond. Right? Honestly, see the amount of them because you just see all these videos. So like you scroll through, and then there you've got like see it was January 2021. It's just my face with my shirt on. All across the thing when you're practicing in the camera for doing your 3-minute pitch.
I was doing it with my laptop camera sitting on top of my ironing board. Not that I ever used my ironing board. That's the only thing I've used my ironing board for. With another, like 2 boxes on top to get it to the right height. And you're just trying to, all they can see is the kind of cam wearing your shirt, looking smart and talking into it. But it's chaos all round about.
Totally. And but I think it'd be a brilliant bloopers thing. So we went for it in the 21. And then I said to Kane, I was like, because we got to the semi-final, we got some good feedback and stuff like that. And I turned around to him at that point, I went, we're winning that. He's like, what? I said, that's going to be a personal goal of mine that we're going to win that. And then we won it in December 2022.
Are you very goal orientated, would you say?
I don't like losing at anything.
Yeah.
I am one of the most competitive people I've ever met in my life, and I don't take losing very well.
Yeah.
Like see if you see me at sports, like I would do a sport and I would expect to be like Tiger Woods playing golf because I've just got that and it's always been there. And unfortunately, I've not got the capabilities to be Tiger Woods, but still inside my head, I think I should be.
Yeah.
So, and it's always been a thing where my capabilities and capacity have never actually met my expectations with some things. But I've always been one of these people. If there's something I really, really want, I'm doing everything I can to get it.
Yeah.
So that's just the way that I've always kind of been. Did it when I was started getting into fitness and stuff. Like I'm going, I'm going to go and do this, and you're going, never doing that. I managed it
Yeah.
because I'm a big believer in, see, if you put your mind to something, no matter what that is, and you work hard enough, the chances are, I would say, you must be 80% of the time, if not more, you will achieve that. But you need to want it enough.
Yeah.
And that's what we did with Scottish Edges. I just said that we want that.
Yeah.
Went up on the stage, did my picture on the stage, made a complete arse of it. And I come off and oh man, what's the two women for RBS? Amanda and Mandy.
Oh yeah.
You know them?
Okay.
Say like that. Oh, that was brilliant. I'm like, no, it wasn't. I made a complete arse of you. And it's like, we wouldn't have known. But obviously, and that was, and one of the two things I learned from that process was, one, it was the first time I've ever been nervous in my whole entire life. And because I'm just not that type of
Yeah.
person, I stood up on that stage and actually couldn't see.
Yeah.
Right, and because I've always had people saying about nervous and anxiety and all these kind of things, and I'm like, crap, absolute crap. Honestly, I stood up on the stage. I went to start talking. Okay, next thing I know, it just started seeing the stars, and then could hardly
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
And I just talked through it, and that's why I missed a big bit of it.
Well, that's funny because when I did Scottish Edge, because I also am pretty confident in most
Mhm, yeah.
situations, and get a little bit nervous, but not. It doesn't. But I like being nervous.
Yeah.
But Scottish Edge was a whole other level. I don't know why, but I was so nervous when I was standing there. I was behind a kind of podium. My knees were bouncing up and down, just like you hear about people like I was shaking at the knees. I didn't know it was literally true. My knees, nobody would have known, and I'd have looked pretty calm and confident. But no, they were bouncing away. I was just like, it's just the adrenaline rush, isn't it?
I think that is, and especially when you're at that stage of your business, it was a massive thing for us.
Such a big deal.
And again, back to I was desperate. Like, not desperate, but I was so focused for us to win that, because that was going to be massive. I actually speak to Kevin Walsh before I come in here, talking about the regional edge.
He's
and this
brilliant.
one.
He was my enabler.
Was
and
it mine as well?
Yeah.
Well, it was my kind of account manager thing when we won it.
Yeah.
I love Kev. He's brilliant guy. So Kev, if you're watching it, both Alison and I love you.
We do. We do. He knows that.
Aye. So I'll talk about it, because I've talked about the regional edge and how I think the regional edge is a fantastic thing, because there's lots of businesses out there that think because they're knowing the central belt, then they're never going to win it.
Oh yeah.
So it gives them that kind of bit of encouragement, bit of guidance, and hopefully then gets them to the main edge.
Well, we've had a few of our Highlands and Islands folk have done brilliantly with the regional edge. So yeah, it's really nice for them to have that. It's made them much more interested and kind of like, right, okay, I feel like this is really possible. So a lot more interest.
Because the thing is, so especially, I mean, we were just I was a wee guy in Ayrshire, right?
Yeah.
We were a wee company in Ayrshire, but we always dreamt, we knew where we were trying to go. But that's daunting for a lot of people. I mean, I've spoke to people around about here, because I say hopefully the regional edge is going to come here the next time. And they're like, but and I tell them to go in for the main one. Oh no, but we're only this. I'm like, you're never going to achieve anything if you just see yourself as we're only this.
Yeah.
See yourself as where you want to be. Look forward and be positive. And I would recommend to anybody to go in for the edge because of that. See
It's
that
such
learning.
a good experience. Yeah, I mean, I think all these things you put yourself forward for. Maybe you'll win, but if you don't, it doesn't matter. But it's also about all the learning and putting yourself out your comfort zone. And the more you do that, and the more you get used to things like pitching and building your network that way, I just think that's what moves you forward, basically.
I think it's as you see, it's because when we won it, I said that it was good to get the money. Excuse me, but the money wasn't the driver for us. One was the kudos and the credibility, and then two was the network that it gave us access to.
Yeah,
because that's something obviously from the stuff that you've been through. You when you're especially when you're a small business, and especially when you're not from the business world, you then start to meet these people like, I've heard of you before.
Yeah, I
I've heard of
can't
you
even
before.
believe that I know you.
Yeah. I can't believe that we're talking, because
Yeah.
there's these people that are that are these big names in business that you're now starting to actually
Yeah.
spend time with, and you're in the company of them,
Yeah.
and you're going, right, okay, I believe in this. I
Yeah.
believe I can do this.
Yeah. And I love the enthusiasm of entrepreneurs. I mean, the energy that they have is just, they're so like, yeah, you know, grr, they're ready for it. And just being around that, and, you know, the weird and wonderful businesses that are out there, and you're kind of like, really? Who knew you could even do that? Or who knew that that could exist? You know, to come up with these ideas is just incredible.
And I think we talk a lot about the kind of the Scottish ecosystem.
Yeah.
For entrepreneurs, and I think it's fantastic. I think it can sometimes be hard to navigate, and I think you're similar to me, where we've been quite fortunate and lucky that we've come into something and then it's opened up this network.
Yeah.
But that doesn't always happen for people, and that's why I like having you on the show, and like, say for example, people want to get involved in one of your accelerators and the things that you guys are doing. That then can be an entry level to opening up these networks.
Yeah.
Because that's the biggest thing. I mean, the government's not going to get it. I mean, there's some support and stuff like that from the government, but you have to really get to a certain size. See that early stage business. The thing that will help them grow is talking to other folk.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to try and open up. And that's what I thought the West Coast was great at, RBS was great at, these accelerators are great at, but you need to know about them to begin with to even get there.
Yeah. But I mean, there's a load of things going on now in the ecosystem. So there's a kind of light touch events that you can just go along to. They're free to sign up for. You know, they'll be in a city near you, whether it's like TechScaler and Codebase running them, or, you know, Barclays Eagle Labs or RBS. And there's all these things going on. And there's also more niche things like around tech, and so it's just like getting on Eventbrite, having a look, and once you get in, then it's a lot easier. There's also the Scottish Enterprise Entrepreneurial Ecosystem Guide. You can find that on LinkedIn. So if you just you know, Google for that, the search for that on LinkedIn, the SE Entrepreneurial Ecosystem Guide, and it's got all the players, including ourselves. Really. So,
see if we can get a wee shout out in that for somebody.
I'm surprised you're not in there already.
I know.
You're like, I want that.
So you've got all these companies that can help you, and then it's like Hills and Reliability. Teach how to talk shite.
That's a top skill.
You're right. So that's my top skill. Kane's obviously, he's the person that makes it all happen. I just do that front bit of the talking poo. So see going forward for you, what's the kind of plan? Because for me, from the time we've known each other, your purpose seems to be try to give back and help the future, and that's similar to us. So is that what you're going to try and take forward? What's the forward plan? Yeah,
I mean, I think I love that I'm doing something, and, you know, we've got a team that's doing something that makes a difference in the world and helps by helping other people make that difference. So I'd like to do that on a bigger scale. So, and that means growth. That means doing more, doing it, you know, bigger projects, so that we can really take people from very early stage right the way through. And that means getting bigger contracts and you know, growing the team and having a bigger impact, I guess, from what we're doing, and see where that takes us. Basically,
you think they're doing anything down this way? Because for me, there's a lot of people trying to get into the entrepreneurial space down here, but again, the West Coast's away, and the kind of some of the probably the places you would point people to is no longer there. Is there I mean, so see with your accelerators, are they online or are they in person? How do they work?
So a bit of both, just depends on the circumstances. So a lot of them are blended. We'll have like maybe the first session, a chance to bring people together. Just thinking about the Highlands and Islands, for example. People are really spread out. We're from Shetland right down to the Isle of Bute. You know, so a lot of it's then online, and then maybe a final. In fact, we had our final get together earlier this week in Inverness. To bring people together. So I think you want that in-person stuff, but also you need that accessibility to make it easy for people to kind of, you know, keep in touch with. But our work with entrepreneurs tends to come through contracts with enterprise agencies and councils and, you know, people who are the organisations that are wanting to upskill their folk.
Because that's what I was going to ask is who funds it?
Yeah.
Because I'd imagine it's not funded by the poor entrepreneurs that are sitting there. They're sitting there. They're trying to do they've either put all their cards in and they've went for it,
Yeah.
and they're absolutely skint.
Yeah, they're not
Or-
my customer.
or they're the ones that are doing a side hustle, so they've got their own paying job here. They're trying to do this here, and they're skint because the money that they're
Yeah.
making there's going in there.
Yeah, I mean, what is brilliant is that places like Scottish Enterprise, Highlands and Islands Enterprise, you know, we've worked with like the Michelin Scotland Innovation Park, and, you know, all these different places are, you know, thinking, yeah, we want to make, you know, an economic difference. We want to help people, you know, create new businesses. So they fund it, and we run these programs for them. So, yeah.
Maybe. So I'll have a chat. So Claire Baird will probably be watching this. So I'm going to have a wee chat with Claire Baird and see what they're doing from an Ayrshire Chamber thing.
Yeah.
Because I don't think, Andrew, can you think of anything that's going on for like entrepreneurs down here anymore?
Look at the gateway. That's it. You've got like websites, discounts, all that sort of stuff.
But it's not really. So yeah, because obviously your business gateway and all that kind of stuff, which is great. But
Yeah,
but that's not the same type of thing that we're talking about here, where you're getting a peer-to-peer kind of cohort type
and
environment.
It's a kind of process you're taking through as well with an accelerator. Whereas I think, I mean, Business Gateway like I link in with Business Gateway.
Yeah.
They've been brilliant
Oh,
for my
100%.
business. So it's just part of the ecosystem, isn't it? So
Mhm.
you've got Business Gateway, but you also need other sort of supports there. And I think like a cohort or a program that takes people through and provides them with kind of individualized and peer support can be really helpful.
I wonder if there's any money down here today, man.
Yeah, well, that'd be cool. I'm in.
Right,
Yeah,
okay,
I think that's interesting.
We'll keep in touch because I wouldn't mind trying. Because again, that for me I would get a bit of kind of personal satisfaction out of trying to help these kind of companies.
So West Coast is gone, and
West Coast is gone, aye.
and there's not anything taking its place.
That's what I say is, if I eventually cash out, that's what I'd like to try and do, is something like that, giving back to new start companies and try to help them on that journey. Because as I say, nearly everyone, if you look at, I think probably 80 to 90% of new start businesses, there's somebody that's a techie type person or somebody that's good at something that decides that they want to go out and try and do it themselves.
Yeah.
And they sometimes just need a wee bit of business support, so people who know the business. That's where I was really fortunate. I'd ran, obviously, P&Ls and all this kind of stuff. So I had that kind of management, leadership, kind of profit and loss responsibility, which meant that I could kind of hopefully start the business off on the right foot. Then we see a lot of other people, they don't have that.
Yeah.
Right? And they're very, very talented with very good ideas. So I'm saying, well, see if we could create something that tries to give them that wee bit of business acumen, understanding of how they can get themselves set up right for the beginning.
Yeah.
I think it could be very valuable.
Because you usually know some stuff, and that's the stuff that you're really good at, and it'll maybe be your product or your service. You'll maybe have some other bits around about it. You're maybe really great at networking or good with the money or whatever, but there's just going to be a whole swathe of stuff that you're not hot on, and there's a bit of a tendency to hide away from that. And if you're taken through a kind of an accelerator program or an entrepreneurial program that gives you a wee insight into each of those, and we do have a brilliant entrepreneurial trainer based in Prestwick, just up the road from here. Yeah.
All right, class.
Yeah.
Right, so Claire in the Ayrshire Chamber and each of the Ayrshire councils, I'm going to be coming to you with my hand out, looking
Watch
for
out
some.
for it. Jamie's on his way.
Yeah. So all these things that I do for you guys, bring you on the show and help you out and speaking at events. We want. I'll figure out. We'll not talk about the cost on. So I'll get a price for Alison to deliver one night, and then I'll be coming to you with my hand out. Because I think, even the likes of for yourself, Andrew, see something like that. I think that'd be beneficial for you.
In part, yeah.
And it just taking your business, try to take your business to the next level, and because you learn so much.
Yeah, I think it's also the focus. I mean, I don't know if you found, like, I was always
100%.
super motivated when I'm on a program and I know I'm going to be like meeting up with folk. You're like, you want to have something to tell them, and if you've told them you're going to do something, there's that accountability of you want to be able to say, I did that and this is how it worked out for me.
That's what I used to say. See every time you drove into the Blair, how good did you feel?
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's absolutely awesome. And I obviously, so I would come in from the co-winning side normally, But I used to drive all the way around and come in the Dorai side. So she just coming in the back gate,
Yeah.
just to drive up through that,
Yeah.
over the
So
bumper.
did I.
And you're like, that, how good is this? Imagine you did this every day coming to your work. But you get those kind of things where it's that bit of inspiration.
Yeah. Oh, totally. It felt really kind of prestigious thing to be like, oh, I've got to make the most of this because I've been
100%.
given this amazing opportunity.
Yeah. And even the ones before that, it's still the same as you back to says the accountability. You feel that you're part of a team.
Yeah.
So if you're not part of that, you're kind of letting yourself down,
Yeah.
right? As an entrepreneur, especially if it's really just you that's in your kind of leadership team. But when you've got these peer-to-peer people, you feel that you're letting them down.
Yeah.
Right, and it takes a full, completely different angle onto how you look at your working life. Because as we say all along, entrepreneurs are only ever really accountable to yourself.
Yeah.
And that, for some people, that's great. For other people, it's not, especially somebody that's come out of a role where they've always had a boss.
Yeah.
Right, and they've always been accountable to somebody else. So see, having that self-accountability can sometimes be challenging for people.
Yeah. I have to admit, I came away from like having a boss and was very happy to not have a boss. I think I must be absolutely hell to manage.
Yeah,
It's like unmanageable.
That was always what I said to people. Why do you want to be a boss? I says to give everybody else a break.
I know. It's not fair on them.
I left a company and my boss turned and said to me, he says, Jamie, I am so sad to see you go. He says, but my life's going to get made a hell of a lot easier. I've done a big multinational business where you had to tick boxes and red tape everywhere, and I don't deal with that crap.
That's exactly what I was like. I'd worked in a project and that was brilliant, but then it got mainstreamed and it all became ticking boxes and recording things. And I hope my team's not listening because, like, obviously we have to record things, very carefully at work.
So make sure he's there. Right? No, but we had one. So in that business, what you had to do is you had to go through risk reviews for opportunities. So you'd be getting a phone call, right? We're going to do the risk review next Tuesday for opportunity 1, 2, 3. No bother. So they'd be like, so they would phone me up and say, oh, you jumping on this risk call? Nah. What do you mean? No, you need to do it. No, I don't. Yes, you do. No, I don't. I says, there's no risk in this job. There's always a risk in the job. I says, no, there's no. There's a risk. I says, no, there's no. I says, because I've already sent the guy out, done the work, sent an invoice and been paid. There's no risk. It's already done. You can't do that. You can't do that. Well, it's done. Piss off, right? Because the customer pays money, know your processes. And obviously, my boss at the time, sitting going like that. Right, we've just got all this work and all this money in, and realistically I should be dead happy, but I've got this person out here doing my nut in because Jamie's not followed that process. But seeing it, we were in a service world where you didn't have that time. Something broke down, you had to react, you had to get it fixed and get it back up and running, and that's why we get much more business. But obviously the business that we were part of was a product business. So everything was dealt with like it was a £1 million project. We were doing 20, 30 grand jobs, but the people thought we were brilliant because we made it happen. So unfortunately there isn't a one size fits all.
No, I think that's the joy of like smaller organizations and startups and stuff, is that you can be nimble and you can do your thing and you can like play to your strengths and you can go, well, I'm going to do it this way. And you don't have to run it by folk and
try. You can try things. So you can try things
fast. I mean, like the speed of things, so much better. You're not having to, can we do this? Can we check? And does that need to go up the management structure? And should I put a proposal together to do this thing? No, we're just going to, let's give it a go.
Go and do it. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, we'll not do it again. Right. Well, that's what we see all the time. People's kids like, oh, I come and check with you. It's like, do it. Do it. If it works, great. If it doesn't,
give it a go.
And you want to try and empower people as well, so as they feel that they can make decisions, and as long as they know where they're going, right, okay, well, I think that's too much of a risk. Let's ask somebody else. So it's all right having people that are innovative, but you don't also want to have people that are too gung-ho that want to try and make things that decisions and changes that might be detrimental. But that's all again part of a teaching and a learning as people move through a small organisation.
And you get to know people and you get to know who's in your team and where their strengths lie and where the risks might lie in them doing things, because you get to know them. So I think over time it kind of builds up. I do remember I was at a talk with from Mark Logan, and he talked about that kind of idea of agency for people and just like giving them agency and how important that was, like people to have that kind of autonomy to do, give them the responsibility so they can go off and do it.
No,
Right.
and it was one which was what did they call it? So basically a box, a roles and responsibilities box. But this is your box, right?
Yeah.
And you can put as much in that box as you want, and if you want to take ownership and responsibility of that. But it's understanding what's in your box, making sure you're happy what's in your box. And if there's things that you don't feel happy with, put them outside and then see whose box they fall into. So as everybody knows who's doing what, and where that level of autonomy sits,
Yeah.
and how you move it forward.
Yeah. And how everything gets done in the business.
100%.
Yeah.
Because one of the things because we're kind of running out of time now, but one of the things that I don't know if you were there, but you're talking about AI in businesses now. See, for a small business, because folks saying, well, AI put people out of jobs. No, in a small business, right? Because most people in a small business are doing more than one job. They're doing 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs. So AI will just come in and make that easier. And one of the things I was saying to people, and I want also this to anybody that's going into a smaller organisation, see the amount that you learn being part of a smaller business compared to, right, you are the project manager in this big project. You are the project manager. That's it.
Yeah.
You come and you're a project manager, a small business, you're a project manager, a procurement person, fucking chasing invoices, looking at this, looking at that. I think the skill set that people can gain being part of a small business is hugely beneficial.
Yeah, huge amount of learning being part of a small business. I think you've got to be willing to do different things and, take on different roles and responsibilities outside. You can't come in sort of thinking that this one, really defined role. It just doesn't work like that. We've been really lucky because we've got a brilliant team, and, they are really super flexible, and it's just, you kind of like, oh, we need this. Like this morning I was like, Danielle, help me, I need a Gantt chart and I don't know how to do it. And she's like, oh, great, turns out you can do it on Excel, and she loves Excel. So often, so it's just like knowing who to ask, and for them to be kind of like, yeah, I'll drop this, you need that now, I'll get it done.
Well, Kelsey and I had a similar conversation this morning. Kelsey's up in one of our, because there's quite a few of them in my business, up and coming stars, and she's sitting there and she's I said, right, we're going to do this, going to do that, go to that. And I'm like, that's what I did, Daisy. She's like, aye, all right then. Right? So, because everything in my world's simple. I just simplify everything. She's going, oh, here he goes again.
It's easy.
Here he goes again. But yeah, yes, the team around you is massive. That's for me. I wouldn't be anywhere without my team.
Yeah.
But I think if we're talking about new start businesses, it's trying to make sure you get your team right.
Yeah. And
I'm going to ask you a question. We'll see if you come up with the same answer to me. What do you think one of the most important things when you're looking at bringing a team in? How when you're looking at the fit? What's the fit?
Aligned with your values. I think that's bottom line of everything. Is I think we've got a set of values, and they include things like enthusiasm. Because we've got a really passionate, you can see it, and our customers love it, because we're all like, when we get to talk about the stuff we like talking about, we're enthusiasts, so those kind of things. It's just really important that we don't want people all the same though.
No.
But that underpinning values. What do you think?
Culture and culture and values. So that's a big thing for me. Is to say we just had a new start that come on Monday, and this is, listen, you only need to remember one word in this business, and it's scripted. That's our values. It says, as long as you can work to those values, and the values mean something to you, you will be a success here. Everything else we can work around.
Yeah.
Right. But and we do that right at the start. So that is in his first telephone interview. That was what we talk about. Is this is the values of our business. This is how we work. This is how we operate, and this is who we are. Do you think that fits what you are like as a person?
Yeah.
If the answer's, and we say to him, if the answer's no, don't worry, right? Because we'd rather know now than try and find, because that will come out within 6 months, and you'll not be here, right? Because it's not going to work for both parties. And it's not just that we would be saying to you, you don't fit. You would not be enjoying your job, because, back to you said, you're all about enthusiasm and all that kind of stuff. If somebody's going, oh, this isn't for me, they're not happy.
Yeah.
So it needs to be that fit.
And how annoying would it be to be surrounded by enthusiasts when you're, downbeat? That'd be hard.
I know, aye. It's the same as when you're surrounded with, you've got 2 or 3 people in the business that are pure whirlwinds and the rest are going, oh no.
Exactly.
But no, I thought you would say that, but and this is where I think it's one of probably the most important thing nowadays. See, it's not that it never used to be, but it was never really seen as that because folk just came to do a job before.
Yeah.
But I think that whole world's evolved and people are looking to try and get more out of our working experience than just getting paid.
Yeah. It can't just be like a list of job description. Basically, this is what you're going to do. It's about the how, isn't it?
100%.
Yeah.
Aye. And making sure, because people spend as much time at their work as they do at their home. You want to try and make it so you're enjoying it.
Yeah.
No just we're going there just to get paid.
Yeah. How do you do that in your team? How do you make sure that it's a good experience?
Just trying. We're still at a small enough stage where you can understand what everybody's kind of drivers are. So when it was kind of mainly me and Kane were involved, we kind of knew everybody. And we still do know everybody. So it's trying to say, right, what is important to each person. We also do a lot of kind of feedback from the team. So asking them what's doing we're good, what we're maybe not doing so good. So we've monthly kind of feedback stuff. And we also always have it like with a monthly call that everybody in the business is on. So they can hear about what we're doing, what things are going well, if things are struggling, blah blah blah. So we're quite transparent with the team, and we think that they deserve that. They deserve that transparency. And we also try and make it so it's somewhere that they enjoy to be.
Yeah.
Like, so whenever we can get a chance to give something back, and if like so we've got awards that we put forward for, the team are kind of asked if they want to be involved in that. So it's trying to just keep them so as they see that they are part of the team. They've got a voice, they've got an opinion, and they can think up different ways. That's how we try and do it.
Yeah.
What about you? What do you?
I suppose there's subtle ways, isn't there? But I mean, one of the things that we do that just works really well. So we've got half our team's based in Glasgow, kind of surroundings. So we've got an office, but half the team are around the UK because we deliver all over the UK. So how do you keep like remote workers engaged? So every morning, 15-minute done for the day call.
Right.
So on a Monday, we do kind of what's your priorities for the week. Tuesday, we just do blather. And I mean, the nonsense people come out with, they would just have good fun. It's that kind of banter that you would have in the kind of, at your tea break. But you don't get that when you're a remote worker.
100%.
Then Wednesday, how are you getting on and what help do you need? And then a bit more banter on a Thursday. And then on a Friday, we just do it online. What's your win for the week? And everyone just posts. And it can be a personal win. It can be a work win. I mean, today we had, already posted on there is that we're running a hackathon for schools as part of the START project up in Aberdeen today. Mm-hmm. They've posted pictures of it and it looks fabulous. It's just looks absolutely buzzing. So that's their win for the week. And we've got, so everyone's posting what they've been either working on and it's been going well.
We had so last night we had a little team building thing, right? It wasn't really planned, but we decided that so it was me, Audrey, Alana, Joseph and Lucas that were still in the office. This is like 5 o'clock after 5. So we started telling each other jokes. And this lasted for about half an hour. And some of the jokes were absolutely terrible, but it was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. So stuff like that where you're going in. And I'll give you an example today, right? So Alana and Audrey will be watching. Alana got Audrey like some flowers and that today, right? And she brought in cakes and stuff because yesterday was a bit of a challenging day, some kind of not so positive conversations when you're trying to keep positive. You know what it's like? But everybody's looking out for each other.
That's really nice.
Right? And the likes of we try and celebrate everybody's birthday in a WhatsApp group and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully people feel that they're part of something.
Yeah.
And we also, back to the kind of good news thing you talked about, so in our monthly comms call, we have a section, and this is the bit that I like most about the call. We talk to everybody about the financial crap, right? But then I ask everybody to tell us something that has made them as happy as a piggin, right? That month, people are talking about passing driving tests, and like people are like when people have kids and stuff like that. Like any baby that's brought into the Ailsa family gets a hamper where a baby girl that says "I love Ailsa," right? On it, right? Brilliant.
You and
Right.
your merch. I
Aye,
tell you.
honestly, the baby pictures, and then like that. Listen, so we've had 1, 2, I think 2 or 3 babies that have came, two or 3, I can't
Oh,
remember.
that's
Right,
nice. Yeah.
and they're all LinkedIn stars as soon as they're born. But see the parents, listen, they're all right for the baby to win, because we see it as a big family.
Yeah.
And see when we are 100, 200 people, while myself and Kane are involved in this, it'll still always be like that.
Yeah.
Right, because I don't care how big it becomes, we still want to have that, so that feeling that people know that they're part of something.
Yeah.
Nobody will ever feel like a number in a business that I run.
Yeah.
Right, never, because that is a shitty, horrible feeling.
Yeah.
Because I've been there. I mean, worked for a company and you were an 8-digit number.
Yeah.
That was it.
When I was in eSpark in Glasgow, that was supported by Lord Willie Haughey.
Yeah.
And we were like, they gave us a wing of their main building in the Gorbals. He was there. He knew everyone. He was in having his lunch in the cafeteria. It just felt so personable, and like he really cared about all the people that worked there, and he provided all this space for us. But I kind of thought, oh, that's the way it should be,
100%.
That kind of like really personal, really like a big family, but just that kind of like real sort of trust and kind of engagement with everyone, and not like sitting away in some sort of separate space. Very much part of it.
You get these leaders who think that they've made it and they're sitting there in their ivory tower and they don't need to speak to people below them. Absolute nonsense.
Yeah.
Absolute nonsense. As I say, I had about 250 people that indirectly reported into me.
Wow.
Right? I knew every single one of their names. I knew every single one of their kind of family situation to a certain extent. I mean, I would walk.
Not all the gossip, though.
No. I used to find, obviously, still smoked fags at the time, so you found out you found out most of the gossip at the smoke share. So that's what I used to do. Is every time I wanted to know something about the business, I'd go for a fag.
Yeah.
Right, sit down there and you would just sit there and blather. But I'd never ever I see you 50 guys that were and girls that worked within the workshop. I would go down maybe at least once every 2 weeks, and go down there and just chat to them and have a blather. Right?
Yeah.
And they're like, all the folk upstairs, they never come down here, and like, they will start to come down when I'm here, and like, because yous are the ones that make the money. They just facilitate that. Yous are just as important, if not more important, than anybody that's up these stairs.
Yeah.
Because if yous don't do your job well, they're not there.
Yeah. Do you know that there's that's a tool, that's a technique called MBWA, management by walking around.
Oh, right, okay.
But it is actually a technique that people, because some people are a wee bit more, I'm not saying that you're an extrovert, Jamie, but some people find it more difficult. But if you give them a little framework, it's called management by walking around. Get up and just like wander around the office. What are you working on? That kind of thing.
I think the people in my office right now will be saying, "Can Jamie please erase that for you thing?" Because I just walk in and create chaos. And
it'll be like management by sitting down.
Management by getting out of road. Right, Alison, we're kind of ran a wee bit over as I knew we would. What anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
Just happy birthday.
Thank you.
That's lovely to be here for your birthday show. And yeah, that's it. I've had a great time. I've not even eaten my cake yet. So
see how you feel when you've munched that.
Yeah.
Been knackered.
It's huge.
Right, Alison, thank you very much. So see if there's any kind of entrepreneurs and that kind of stuff out there that I've liked what I talked about. Just get them to reach out to you on LinkedIn.
Get in touch. Always happy to chat to people, talk to people, direct you, and it doesn't have to, it might not be us that are the right fit for you, and we can direct you. I actually had someone get in touch a couple of weeks ago, and I gave them a list of different organisations that would probably be right fit for them. So yeah, feel free. Brilliant. Thank you very much, everybody. If you're still watching it just now, thank you for sitting watching it. Obviously, thank you for looking at the new t-shirts. Alison, thank you for being the first person to receive a t-shirt. And anybody that's watching this back on our kind of Sunday viewing, people that seem to watch all the time, have a great day and have a great weekend, everybody. And guess what? Look at that. Look. Hello, LinkedIn. Me again. Right, thank you very much. Thanks, Alison. Thanks, Jamie. Cheers. Thanks, Andrew.